Disclaimer, I'm going to be voicing Archimedes this episode, so I apologize for any terrible interpretation.
Help Action Needed, a D&D podcast.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Help Action Needed, a D&D podcast. My name is Sean Hardy, and I am typically the GM of this show, but today the cast have hijacked it from me. So cast, who are you?
My name is Kate Pizarchik Johnson, and I play Nori.
I'm Dan Johnson, and I play Cass.
I'm Julie Perez, and I play Frog.
Okay, so the last time we had seen the three of you was right after leaving Narada, Frog's hometown, after she laid her mother to rest and had a sweet little encounter with her siblings before setting out to head back to Solana. Conversations were had with Dion and Julien and the brothers Seth and Alto for meetups and plans and everything, but you were still a few days out from the capital. But we join you all now when you're solidly in and some things have happened. So for the rest of the episode, I turn the GM chair over to the three of you. Where are you at now? What have you been up to? And where are you taking me?
Utter chaos! Yes! Well, I think our main plan was to try and prepare for this bachelor party. So I think Cass had mentioned he had a couple ideas of things that need to get done.
Yeah, I just need to, when we get into town, I would suggest we make, this is a bachelor party, given I have not been married, I believe only one of us has. Anyway, we need to probably get some type of sweet treats, plus going to look directly at Frog, probably some things to drink, I would assume, just based on our past experiences. So I think we need to get all that, and then Frog, I think you had scavenger hunt to a certain extent in mind, so if you need specific things for that, we'll just have to sort of grab all of those and then sort of figure out what we need from there. But I think for the most part, we should be ready to go. Once we get into town, we'll need about like a day or so to gather our stuff. So that being said, I know what Dion likes in terms of flavor, but I know what Dion likes in terms of flavors, but I don't know what Julien likes. And I feel like maybe one of you two should reach out to Julien in this last day of travel before we get to town, just to sort of see what he likes, and then we can sort of figure out what amalgamation of flavors makes sense to use, or we just give it to the baker and hope for the best.
Oh, my name's Cass, and I know words like amalgamation. That would be more Kate out of character. Anyway, so, Frog, I think maybe you should handle this one since you are closer with Julien for sending, if that's okay.
Yeah, Frog will cast sending, or I guess use the ring for sending, and tell Julien we are just about there, but we have a few questions that we need answered, such as, what are your favorite flavors for sweet treats?
Kind of like any of them, like as long as they got some, like I like when it's got fruit and when it has like soft things, like if it's got like strawberry or blueberry or like lavender. I like natural flavored things.
Okay, Frog is just not going to respond to that because she can't. And then tell Cass he's kind of fine with whatever, but he likes fruit. Guess that makes sense.
That's all.
Nobody. Okay, rude.
That's all he responded with.
I gave you a look like, the fuck, Julie.
What? It makes sense. He
Pause.
is fruity.
I'm confused. What is happening?
Julie went, he likes fruit because he's gay.
I did. Rude.
Okay. Sorry. 3, 2, 1. Uncarrot. Is that all? Okay, so just natural flavors is what we're going with for Julien?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I will handle getting the alcohol when you get into town and going to the baker and getting that set up. I think we all know that I am not the most fun person. So I will leave the fun stuff to you, Frog, because we also need some ounce of responsibility once in a while. And Nori, if you could help her with it, that would.
Nori, having had her second cup of coffee of the day, I'll look at Cass and be shaking a little bit and be like, "What are you talking about, Cass? I am equally as fun as Frog, if maybe not a little bit less Frog. You're amazing and wonderful and so much fun. I can also be very responsible. This is official business for the kingdom, so I would be fine. But Frog, I'll follow your lead."
Okay. Frog will say, I guess, but you need to keep your seriousness ready for the actual wedding. So it's okay. You can be silly right now.
I can do that. And I'll put down my third cup of coffee after my.
Alright, so now that we're kind of getting started, Frog tells Nori all of the little plans that she has in store. And they start, just crazy talking and planning and figuring out everything that they're going to do. And then we'll go get the supplies that we need for it. After we get the supplies, we will go ahead and start hiding it around the chateau, without letting Julien and Dion know that we're there. Assumingly the guards have told them, but we're just not gonna even approach them until everything is set up. And then once things are set up, we'll so this will be our nighttime. We'll go and find them, and we have a surprise for you. So we'll enter the chateau to find them, and that's kind of where we'll start off.
Okay, so to clarify timeline for Sean and the audience, it's the night before the scavenger hunt, or the night,
yes.
Or the morning of now. Okay, cool.
Yes.
So everything is hidden, and it's the night before.
Yes.
Okay,
and
cool.
They will not accidentally stumble upon anything because we don't want that to happen.
Mm-hmm. You'll tell the guard they need to only go on this hallway in their own home. We are restricting their movement.
Yes.
Okay. Cool. Then yeah, what do you do as you approach them? I think they'd probably just be if they knew that you were here, they'd probably be in that the common reception room that you all met in the last time before going off to your private suites. That's probably where they would meet you.
Okay. As Frog walks in, she'll just raise her hands up in the air and be like, "We're here."
Yeah, the guards kind of told us that a few hours ago. Welcome.
And I'll pop up behind Frog with 2 bottles of probably relatively cheap wine compared to their stock. Hold there and be like, "And we brought wine!" And be like a ta-da motion behind Frog.
Julien will walk up and look at the bottles and go, "Oh, kind. Thank you." Do you have a big polite that you would bring anything? We can quickly get through those and then go into some of the reserves if you would like. The gesture's appreciated, but I feel like none of us will wake up well tomorrow morning if that's what we're starting with tonight.
And at that, Cass is going to take the 2 bottles that are in his hand and just put them back in his cloak. Just put them behind his back. Okay.
Oh,
And Nori,
I didn't mean to offend. We can have your cheap wine. Cass, I'm sorry.
No. It's okay. I'll open the bag of holding and just put the wine bottles in there and close it and say, we can gladly tap into your reserve per you allow us to, so to speak. We just didn't want to
Okay. So why were you in our house for like 3 hours?
We had
just start going in the background while Frog is clearly talking.
we have surprises for you, but you can't know about them until tomorrow.
I would typically say that's wildly concerning, but knowing you, it's average. Okay, cool. What's the plan then? Do we get a say in anything, or are we kind of being held in our home? Okay, that's a very fast no from Nori. I have a feeling that this would be illegal if we didn't know you so well, but that's fine. Okay.
It's not illegal. It's not illegal. You exist. We're not kidnapping you. Although the thought did come to mind, but we're not. We're not.
It was scarily high on the list. Kidnapping was like one of the first options.
Frog and I had a really great plan, but maybe for a different wedding. If you guys want to have like a third or fourth like vow renewal, we'll have another like party or something, and we'll do it then.
Okay, well, I feel like you all need a talk of law before we go anywhere. So one, you did break into our home. You are invited guests, but we did not know you were here for 3 hours, which, if the guards didn't know who you were, would have caused most execute on-spot orders. We can clarify that to start with. And then kidnapping's just a bad idea in general, especially us. Like...
Thank you. I agree. I was like, I don't want to die. I'm going to look at specifically at Dion, be like, he would have killed us accidentally, not even thinking about it. Like, bad idea.
I'd probably try not to. Like, I don't want to kill my friends, but yeah, I mean, if someone's going to attack me in my sleep, yeah.
I wouldn't blame you. Like, we would be strangers trying to, in quotes, friendly kidnap you.
Yeah.
Anyway,
So,
that's not the point.
So we don't need to be ready to not murder you if you try to kidnap us in the morning.
There is no kidnapping going on.
Why don't we all just meet outside at like 8:30 tomorrow morning?
You see Julien go like, "Ooh, that's so early."
We can make it a little later, and we can have time for brunch and mimosas. So like,
Yeah,
it's okay.
Getting up for brunch and mimosas at 8:30, fine. Getting up ready to be outside doing things at 8:30, not fine. We can do brunch and mimosas at 8. That's perfectly fine.
Okay, good. All right, then we can do that.
And
then...
where are you thinking we should meet you?
The dining area.
So, like, the official one, or, like, where we used to meet in your place?
Where we used to meet in our place, assuming that we can have food ready there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same as
okay.
last time. They can cater your suite. It'll be fine.
Okay.
We'll meet at your place. That way you all don't mess up anything further.
We have not messed up a single thing yet. How dare you?
See, you say that, but we have nothing to back it up, and we were told explicitly we can't look at most of our home.
Yeah. So, we did nothing wrong. Anyway, brunch and mimosas.
I'm just saying there's not a lot of confidence in you right now. Anyway.
Brunch and mimosas are at 8:30 tomorrow morning, but tonight we get to enjoy our night and drink from your lovely reserves instead of our cheap wine. So, let's go.
Okay. You both seem rather keen on the cheap wine. We can start with that if you want. It's just, if we're going to be up at 8:30, we don't want the headache from it being low quality.
don't want the headache from it being low quality. And
Hey,
then
open it. No, we'll start. Open it. You have 4 bottles. We can all get through that in 2 glasses. Go ahead.
I will pull one of the bottles from my cloak back out and be like, well, just this one. And then we're going to the better stuff, not hate our lives in the morning.
Yes, and the night passes into the morning. Nobody has bad headaches. Nobody's that hungover. And around 8:30, a knock is on your door with both the princes and all of the catered brunch and mimosas. What would be the order for the brunch?
bacon. Lots of bacon.
French toast?
Okay.
Just
And
the standard array: bacon, eggs, French toast, good selection of fresh fruit, including obviously like some of Julian's favorites. You have your strawberries, blueberries, whatever else would be in season at that point in time. And then there would be 2 large pots of coffee, one in front of everybody else, and then one specifically like on Nori's portion of the table where she's sitting, because they know better than to not make 2 pots at this point.
Very fair. Okay.
and like a obscene amount of mimosas ready to go for us.
Beautiful. Yeah. I think Dion would be the first one to actually come back. Oh, looks very inviting. Very nice. Thank you for making this the morning, because I feel like whatever you're about to put us through, we know it will have a good start. Julian's like, let up. They're not going to be a problem. Like, if anything, like, maybe Nori will be a problem, but we can fix that. Like, it's all going to be fine. We're not even drunk today. And then sees the amount of mimosas on the table and goes, we're not even that drunk today.
Perfect. Frog will then immediately hand him one.
Yep. Yeah, and your brunch passes. Where do you lead them? The rest of it is all up to you all.
So after we have a second to sit with brunch and, like regather ourselves after a delicious meal and several mimosas, Frog will lead the group out to the front and explain to Julien and Dion that we have a very, very exciting scavenger hunt planned for you.
Yay!
Hey,
Okay. That's exciting. And
Okay.
So we're just going to go around our house and see the tiny things you've put in our house? That was very sarcastic. I meant it as like a genuine question. This does sound exciting. I'm sorry for the tone. I'm sorry.
Okay. Frog will then hand each of them a little clue that says, for Dion, Frog will hand him the clue first. And as he opens it, unrolls it to read it, it says, "You rule a kingdom with grace, but today you'll find your first trace. Where your noble heart once did rest, a memory of love's very best. Seek the place where stories are told, in a place where warmth will take hold."
Okay.
And then Nori, I believe, has Julian's clue.
Nori I'll do like a little twirl and spin and then hand it to Julien. And as Julien unrolls the scroll, it will say, "In the halls where knowledge reigns, your clue will unlock the deepest game." And then Nori will say, "And go!" expecting everyone to follow the like Feyworld's type of rules when it comes to scavenger hunts, where like they just run really quickly and trying to find the things, but then half expecting Julien and Dion not to do that. She still is like, huh! Like waiting with her arms out and in like a ready running stance, and she's waiting to see what their reactions are going to be.
Yeah, definitely don't take off running. Just kind of seem a little stunned. I don't think either of them were prepared for this level of work from the two of you. Like, the fact that Frog's clue went on for more than like 2 seconds. Dion's a little stunned, and then it's like, are we going together? Are we moving as a pod? What are we doing?
Well, your clues will take you to different places. We're gonna meet you at the end. So it is all up to you.
Okay. Okay.
And then Frog will suddenly get like very serious and be like, this was a journey meant for you guys to recognize the love that you have and to make sure that you know that what you have is special, and the church and the kingdom and everything else doesn't matter. It's for you guys.
Oh, well, I appreciate that. I guess I'm gonna go look at a fireplace. I think. Okay, and Julien go, I'll come with. Well, we can go there first, and then we can go... Because I think mine would be the library, and they're not far from each other.
No, and then Frog will say, no! You have to go separately.
And at this point, I'm just going to jump in and be like, Frog, Nori, why don't one of you go each of them? You can sort of help keep them... If you want this to be separate, you can help keep them separate to a certain extent. You don't have to intervene. Let them find it on their own, but just split them up a little bit if you're trying to keep them separate. And with this, I'll sort of poof my legs out of existence, and you'll get like the little wisp, and I'll just start floating up into the air, pretty much leaving you two to handle the rest of this. Or I mean, I'll be floating around, just sort of how everyone's doing, keeping an eye on them.
Wild and new, but congrats, I guess. And just so, yeah, if you all want to come with, because I think we have different thoughts. Because if it's a journey of our love, shouldn't it be together? But now you're saying don't do it together. But also, we're pretty sure we just need to go like to the rooms next to each other, and can't we walk there together?
You can walk there together, fine. But you have to separate after that.
Okay, then yeah, they head on off. Is someone going to narrate the house, or do I?
Yes, Dan/Cass narrates the house.
Okay,
Sure.
cool. Then I think the first spot Dion would try to go to is the main floor fireplace, and then Julia would go to the library, which
So you're going to
is
the
also on the main
fireplace.
floor.
So they're going to the fireplace first.
And that's where Dion's heading, yeah.
So, okay, so they are splitting up once they get... Okay,
Well,
got it.
looking at the map you drew, like, they're, like, next to each other, so
Yeah.
it's like, yeah.
Yeah, and just a note for everybody. Most of this is on the first floor. The entertainment's on the third floor. Paraphrasing. Second floor is where we would have stayed, just as an FYI. So we'll just go with that for the time being. So as they walk in, Dion will... I mean, it's his house, so he's very familiar with it. But for everyone else, like, they go into what would be realistically considered their chateau, their area that they live in. And as you go through the general foyer, you sort of see a grand fireplace in the front, just well-masoned stone pieces put together with a nice apron in front of it, sort of keeping all the ash and soot contained there. It's usually running, whether it's large or small, sort of depends on the time in general. But on the mantle, Julien and Dion would be very familiar with. There's just a large portrait of Dion there. Just, it's not by Dion's choice. It's just from his family. It was commissioned for him. It's hanged there. But amongst that, there's other just ornamental things that Dion's his life. And as he approaches, I mean, I could just... There's, like you said, it's just like a normal fireplace. There's two side pillars. There's the open area for the flames, and there's the little mantle on top. Mm-hmm. So where is Dion specifically looking?
Probably looking on the mantle and seeing if there's anything different there.
And there most definitely is. It's hidden, but not hidden too well. You see there's like a little like placard from the church, like with with a religious insignia on it, and just leaned up against it in the back. There's a little package there, a little drawstring bag.
Okay, yeah. So I guess he'd walk up to the mantle because that's the area that has the most things that can be messed around with. Yeah, Frog, you have any involved? You're with Dion, right?
Yes.
All right, is there anything you're trying to lead him towards, or anything he should do?
Frog will come up next to him and kind of like gently nod her head to one side of the fireplace, seeing if he like looks any further.
Okay. Yeah, he'll follow your gaze and look to the side your head gesturing towards. Is this? Should I take this? Is this what I? Okay.
Yeah, Frog will like nod her head enthusiastically and watch him pick up the drawstring bag that has something inside of it for him.
Should I open it?
Yes.
Okay. And he'll open it. And what does he find on the inside?
On the inside, you see like almost like an acorn-sized, what appears to be like a wooden heart, with detailed with different like designs on it, very fancy looking, and that's kind of all he sees. It looks the same all around, like both sides are the same, and then Frog will then hand him his next clue, which states, a prince must wear a crown of gold, but what if your crown is too bold? Where clothes are kept for grand affairs, you'll find the next clue hiding there.
Okay. Do you not like my clothing?
I didn't say anything. That was a clue. I didn't say anything.
But you wrote the clues, did you not?
I don't know. Did I?
Okay. Sure. And then yeah, we'll move over to Julien on his way to the library with Nori. So why are we doing this separate? Like, can't we?
Because this is your journey of love for one another.
Okay.
So we need you guys to experience it separately, to grab onto the clues that symbolize your love, so that way when you come back together, you'll feel even more empowered in your love.
Feel like you have a very grand concept here, and I respect the effort.
You are a performer, are you not? We're trying to put on something that is as equal of greatness as you are a performer.
Okay, so am I just looking at every book? Do you have an area that'll help here?
As Nori would have walked through the room, you see just large bookcases pretty much lining the walls along the corners, and it's pretty much filled with books except for the areas where the windows are. So from floor to ceiling, you just have book coverage, which sort of is in Julian's concern about looking in all the books. There is thousands of books in the room. There's 2 comfortable chairs, just obviously for Julien and Dion to sit in and relax in as they're reading. And you can very distinctly see, like, all of these books are very well organized. Like, they're in sections, they're organized, until you get to one corner where the bookshelf is full, but they're just sort of all over the place. And on a closer inspection, you can see they're more music-related stuff that a bard specifically would look for. And from quick observation, you would be able to tell this is where Julian's portion of the library is.
So do I need to read the boring books, or do we get to go into the fun area?
You definitely get to go into the fun area. Maybe where, like, you and Dion would share books together.
Okay. most of those would be upstairs. Do we need to go upstairs?
No, maybe just gander around just a little bit more, and Nori will send a spiritual guardian, even though there's lots of them, but she'll send just one, and it will be a silver pine cone flying to the general area that he may find a book.
Okay, yeah, he'll follow the thing. I think he would first go try to sit down in the chairs and be like, we can read together in the chairs, and sit down in the chair.
No, you're
okay.
cold. You need to be a little hotter.
Okay, and then we'll walk over to, like, the music section and be like, here?
That's a lot closer. And Nori will cast another spiritual guardian, and it will be, like, right next to the music section, right at Julian's eye level.
Okay, and we'll just, like, follow your pine cone and, like, see what it lands on and pull out the book it lands on or whatever.
And Julian finds just a typical leather-bound book. And if Julian decides to open it, he will find the next clue.
Yeah, he'll open it. It's like, is it a book that looks like it belongs, or is it clearly like a book that's been planted?
It clearly looks like a book that has been planted.
Okay. And then I'll pull it out and be like, well, this has to be the right one. Not sure why another book was added here, but excited to see what it says, and then we'll open it up.
Okay. Once Julian opens the book, a little scroll will fall out, and once opened, it reads, "You play your songs and charm the crowd. In a quiet room, you are loud. Where sound meets silence and voices rise, you'll find a clue. No surprise!"
Okay, so would we go up to the entertainment area? Do you have to go give a little concert to you?
Where would be an instrument that maybe you could use to entertain people?
Okay, well, let's go upstairs then, and we'll start making his way towards, like, the music area that's upstairs, and then we'll cut back over to Frog. Dion will look at you and be like, so, like, do you want to go to my bedroom closet, or just, like, the general, like, entryway coat closet? Where are we headed?
Depends where you get dressed in the morning.
Okay, then we're gonna go to my bedroom, which the fact that you've hidden things in there already is wildly concerning. And we will be having a talk about boundaries after this.
And at this point, Cass just disengages his fly and drops down and be like, I tried to tell them, and, like, right after that, it's just gonna float back up a little bit, just supervise it again.
Okay, and we'll take the lead up to his bedroom where he lives, which is kind of not closed off, but removed by a wall behind the entertainment area for a reason, because it's a private space. But yeah, follows you up to I guess you follow him up to his bedroom.
So making their way up, as Dion makes his way through the entertainment room in general, opens a set of large oak double doors, just nice, heavy, sturdy doors, into a relatively ornate bedroom. You can tell it's a fine mixture of, like, royal-esque decoration with some much less refined taste coming in. Like, you could definitely tell where Julien decided to help decorate the room, and it does make it look a little bit less of a picture perfect bedroom. It looks much more relatable to their relationship. So you obviously see their large bed. The sheets are very well made, obviously made this morning. You could see two dressers on opposite sides of the room, as well as just some general storage, like a nightstand. There's a closet for each of them, and pretty much at this point, everything is very much in its place. Definitely tell the hands in the house have already been in here to clean up in the morning. Just make sure everything has been cleaned and ready to go.
Yeah. And he'll walk over to his closet with Frog and be like, I'm mostly concerned that you went through both of them to confirm which one is mine. But here we are. And we'll walk into what I'm imagining is a very large walk-in closet and just look around for anything out of the ordinary. Is there anything he would see, Frog?
There is definitely something that he would see immediately. He might also hear it.
Okay, then, yeah, I guess we'd look down and see Archimedes and be like, oh, we're leaving wild animals in the closet now. Honestly, the most concerning thing is that you went through both of our closets with enough investigation to see whose was... I mean, it's not that hard, but that, again, wild breaches of privacy here.
Sitting in the middle of the floor is a very large bulbous frog that I don't think Dion would be familiar with. I am not a wild animal. I am the frog, Archimedes. And I was left here for a very specific purpose. And with that, you'll see he sees Archimedes just sort of start hopping around the room a little bit, looking for what he specifically had in there, like not sure exactly where he left it. And from underneath like one of the bottom runs of his like closet space, you see Archimedes hop back out with what could probably be called a hat. It is just a amalgamation of little pieces of burlap, some leaves, some sticks, all held together, just with like sap and other resins, just from our trip, like anything he could have grabbed when we were traveling back to the city. But just from his look in general, Archimedes is very proud of this hat. It is very, very, very dear to his heart. And Archimedes will pop back and be like, here you go, sir. This is for you. And just sort of like hop up onto the little bit of closet space he can get and like try to put it on Dion's head.
Okay, so you've brought a wild talking frog. Okay. Thank you, King of Frogs, for the hat. Do I need to put it on?
Yes.
Okay. And he puts it on, and like his hair, as always, is perfect. And like you just feel the resentment he has towards putting this ball of twigs and sap onto his head, being like, this is not coming out for days, but okay. Okay. Thank you for the hat, King of Frogs. Please leave my bedroom. You can, I don't know, how about you go outside? That's a good spot for wild frogs.
Before Archimedes hops out of the room, he unrolls his tongue and out flops the following clue on the floor, still moist. And Dion can decide whether he's going to pick that up or not.
He will look to you and be like, well, you've been doing a great job reading them so far.
Fine, Frog will bend over and pick it up, like wiping her hands on her pants as she unfolds it. And the clue reads, you've ruled the kingdom with regal grace, but now it's time to find a sweet embrace. Seek a treat that's loved by all, where animals feast and spirits stall.
Okay. Frog, you asked what outside is. We're going to go to the stables. Would you like to come with?
What's a stable? And with this, Archimedes just starts like hopping just around the closet again.
Oh, we're gonna... Frog, if that's one of yours, please restrain it. Please. Anyway, let's get going, I guess. And we'll go back to Julien with Nori. when we can fly Kate in.
So, as Julien is making his way to the upstairs, halfway up the stairs, he just looks behind and sees Nori. Just all you hear is just pitter-patting of little steps running back down the stairs. That third cup of coffee is hitting Nori hard. So Cass just poofs back down to the floor and be like, okay, I guess I'll be helping really quick. I know I'm much less fun, but you know what? We'll give it a shot.
You're not
So-
less fun, you're just different fun. Everyone's fun.
Yeah. Cass just sits for a second thinking about, like, not sure how to take that, but all right. Anyway, just continuing. So as we go up the stairs, they sort of just wrap around the fireplace, go past the second floor, up to the third floor. You walk into what Julien and Dion have referred to as like the entertainment room. It's just a large open spaced room. There's a table in the middle where obviously guests can commune. Along the walls, there's a good amount of pictures, as in paintings. There's some of Dion's weapons, just more what is
Like ceremonial and showy.
Thank you. More ceremonial than actual, like, used. You see a few suits of his, like, religious armor, specifically from the church. Obviously still not used, just ceremonious. And then you also see, scattered amongst all these very fine things, you see, like, a little lute, a harp, just musical instruments scattered about the room. Just, again, really driving home the balance that Julien brought to their relationship. And just a few other things, like I said, in the corner, there's a grand piano that you can tell has been used quite a bit. It's just a good piece in general. And then just some other furniture, chairs scattered around the room just for people's use.
Yeah, I think then Julien would walk up the stairs and get to the top and instinctively probably head towards the piano, but pausing on the way, hearing the commotion happening in the bedroom next door, and be like, is something loose in our bedroom?
Cass just sort of looks up, like, thinking to himself and be like, oh no. Like, knowing exactly what Frog did for that last clue, and is like, yeah, I'm sure we'll see exactly what's going on in there in like a minute or two. But let's focus on your stuff. We'll deal with that situation when it gets here.
Okay, sure. I'm gonna go to the piano. I think that's right. And then we'll just kind of walk over and try and open the lid and see if you all hit anything inside.
And as we're doing this, as soon as Julien turns around, just to keep the semblance of the scavenger hunt up, Cass is going to, like, just tap himself on the chest and disguise self to look like still a much taller version of Nori, but like a foot shorter than he normally is, and just sort of try to act like her, so it's not like she left. But as he goes over to the grand piano, when you say open it, I'm assuming you mean open the
lid.
Yeah, the lid of it. And in there you can see where the actual you can see bedded on, just laid on top of the screen in the upper area, there is a little package.
Okay. It's really bad for the instrument to do this. I'm not blaming you. It feels like you all had a lot of very good and kind intent to this, but it feels like a lot of this is stuff that nobody fully thought through, and I'm here for the vibe. I'm just making you all aware. But anyway, I'm gonna open this now, and just reaches in and opens the little package in there.
Yes, and in the package, not so little, just pretty well, tightly packed. Just undoes the little string. So unwrapping it, taking the string off, we'll open it to see a golden music note. Not very big, just a small little thing. And with that, taking another look in there, underneath the package there was another little scroll underneath it, just wound up, that had his other clue in there as well. So with the clue, Cass will take the clue, undo it, and it says, "You sing with charm and wit so fine, but a poet must have more than rhyme. When you seek the perfect attire, look for a clue that will inspire."
Okay.
And at this point, like after reading that, all you hear is just a little back up the stairs, just a little pitter pats of steps, and you see Nori rushing back to the fray of things after taking her quick bathroom break from her excessive amount of coffee this.
Having just ran up the stairs, you'll hear, "Oh, whew, so sorry. That was a real emergency." And you'll see Nori whip out her second cup of coffee, or third cup of coffee, and say, "I'll drink this one a little bit slower. Are you ready for the next clue?"
And as Nori's saying this, she's going to look at Julien and then look to the person next to Julien, who is pretty much marginally shorter than Cass, but looks exactly like Nori.
And Nori will just look at this other character and say, "Who the heck are you? Anyway, Julien, did you read the next clue?"
Yeah, and I'm a little confused because you all kind of said we can't be together, but they're currently solving some sort of issue in the bedroom, and I now need to go into the bedroom. Am I allowed to go in, or do we need to wait for them to leave?
Yeah, we'd be heading out. And Frog would motion to Dion to lead the way and give a slight wave to Julien.
Hi. There was a problem? Did you fix whatever that problem was?
There was no problem.
No, there was a wild animal that they hid in our closet. So...
And then Frog will be like, "Shh!"
Nori will pipe up and say, "Okay, all right, let's go, come on!"
So to clarify, Archimedes is not coming with you, Frog?
No.
Okay. There will probably be a frog in your closet. Just have fun. You can't let wild animals into our private bedroom.
With Spirit Guardians still being up, Nori will send one of the Spirit Guardians, because this is obviously how the spell works. We'll send one of my silvery pine cones to tap Dion in the forehead with a little funk.
Okay, sure. And Dion will just follow Frog to the stables as Julien goes into the bedroom. Yeah, I guess since we're already in the bedroom, let's just have Julien go next. So yeah, I guess he'll just walk in and just go to his closet and open it. Am I expecting a frog to jump out at me? Am I expecting there just to be a frog in here?
And Nori will say, "Oh, Archimedes," and then Archimedes will pop out of Dion's closet and then say,
"Oh, hello, visitors."
"Ta-da!" And Nori will do like the little show hand motion towards Archimedes.
Okay. Hi. Hello.
Also, as they were walking in, there was very clear signs of like wet frog footprints going from Dion's closet to Julien's closet. So like, it wasn't a surprise when he opened that door.
Yeah. I get why Dee said you're letting wild animals into our bedroom. Hello, large frog. Why are you here? How can you talk, but why are you here?
Hello, I am the King of Frog. Frog told me to stay in these closets, specifically. Other than that, I've just been hopping around. You have You have very nice clothes. Much better than the other closet.
Thank you. So are you done in here now? Do you
No,
have
no, no.
something to give me? Or is this just a fun little surprise?
Remember, you're supposed to grab the glittery thing.
Oh, right. And with that, see Arkham sort of hopping again to the corner of the closet and pulls out a wrapped little package for him and just sort of grabs it with his tongue and hops back over and gives it to Julien.
Yeah, Julien will open it. And what do we find in a wrapped? Is it as wet as it was last time from Archimedes, or is this relatively dry?
This one is going to be relatively dry, and it is a glittery tunic.
Okay. Very cool.
And inside one of the tunic's pockets, another scroll will be found, and that one reads, "From up above, you take in the view. Your heart beats stronger than with the wind's hue. You've seen it all, yet not quite yet. Your next clue's here, where horizons..."
Okay. Hey, look at it. And is this the glittery tunic? Is it good looking, or does it look like Dion's hat?
No, this would be an actual tunic that we went and got custom made for Julien.
Oh, it's like, oh, this is sweet. Should I wear it now? Should I save it for later? What's the plan here?
Nori not remembering what exactly. Nori not exactly remembering what Frog's plan was, would then say yes, very like reassuringly to Julien that he should wear the tunic.
Yeah, no problem. And he'll change real quick and put it on. Yeah, as he like takes off the shirt he was wearing, you see he's very strong. Like, he doesn't look it in terms of like Dion's musculature, but like he clearly works out with him every day. He's just having a vibe, living his best little bard life, and then puts on this shiny thing, and is like, okay, then I guess we'll continue on to the overlook area.
Nori will have the silver pinecone spirit guardians that have continued to follow us just like swirl in joyous, fast pace laughter, because that totally makes sense. And like swirl, and then explode with joy, and Nori will jump out and say, yes! and lead Julien on the way, because clearly Julien has no idea where they're going.
Nice, and over back to Dion with Frog. I mean, you all clearly went through a lot of effort for this, so thank you. What was the thought process in terms of placement and, carefulness of things? Was that a thought? Or was it just kind of, this seems like a fun idea, let's go for it, considering that Cass told us second on the list was kidnapping?
We just thought it would be fun. What do you mean, thought process?
Should we go into the closet? Should we leave wild, wet animals unattended for who knows how long? Also, how did it get in there? Because it wasn't in there when we got dressed this morning, and then we've been with you the whole day. So who did you pay off to put said wild animal in our closet, or did it just get there? I have questions, but I'm enjoying myself, so thank you for putting this together.
Yeah. He's quite resourceful, so he did it. And also, I don't know if I've ever thought of the word should in my head.
How have you lived your life?
in the best way.
Okay.
Anyway,
Yeah.
we're here at the stables.
Yeah. Look, the stables.
So as you approach the stables, you're walking around the side of the chateau, sort of just through a nicely planted area. There's a very clear walkway. There's a garden on your right for vegetables that are often used in the kitchen for meals. But as you make your way to the back, you see large stone pillars erected that tie into an area for the second and third floor that overlook the back area. And in the inset area on the first floor, you can see nicely maintained wooden stables. There's a nice swing gate in the middle that you can go into, and in there's a few stone pillars just supporting it, but it's pretty much just completely covered with hay. There's a few horses that the princes both use from time to time, and a few other arrangements of small critters, but the horses are the main in there. There's a nice little trough filled with water for them to have what they need, as well as you can see a little barrel on the side, just sort of filled with some carrots, apples, just other things that the horses will snack on from time to time.
Okay. I'm gonna go to the horses. And just kind of looks at Frog to see, okay, cool, to the horses, and we'll walk over there.
Next to the horse's stall, he will see a little jar filled with sugar cubes that has a string wrapped around it, and the next clue is tied to it.
Should I feed these to the horses?
You should probably just open the clue.
Okay. I'll open the clue then.
Inside the clue, Dion sees the future calls with love and light, but first you must embrace the night. Go where daylight fades and dreams gleam.
Are we going back to bed? Okay.
We just thought that you would really like the exercise.
Okay, I mean, that's fine. I just wanted to make sure, because we did just leave there. So that was my only thought, was that we just left the bedroom and now we're heading back, and I just wanted to make sure I wasn't going in the wrong direction. But that's okay. And then he is going to open the sugar cubes and give one to each of the horses, being like, it feels wrong to not let them have it if they've been sitting in front of them all day.
I suppose you just have to keep one.
Okay. Well, they're only getting one each, and I imagine there's more than 3 here, so that's fine. And then heads with you back to their bedroom, where Nori, I guess we find you and Julien on the balcony. Well, the overlook.
Nori will just continue walking gleefully behind Julien and say, I wonder where, oh where, could this clue be found on the overlook that looks like...
Oh, so as they're leaving the bedroom, going back to where the stairs sort of tie into the third floor, next to the stairwell, there's just a nice little open enclave. Again, just real fine stonework and oddly large windows for the time, like very large open windows overlooking the back area. It's relatively open, and I think it's purposely left that way. There's a rug, a few chairs, really just a nice area for guests to sit and overlook the nice natural backyard that the horses can sort of go into, just how it's fenced off.
So, Julien, where do you think that this little next clue could be? Does anything look out of sorts?
Is there like a package tied to a rail or something?
No.
Okay.
Nori, kind of seeing Julian's hesitancy, is going to say, maybe we should look up at the sky and see the chandelier above.
Okay. We'll look up at the sky to the chandelier above as requested.
And
Okay.
there, he will see a watering can hanging from one of the poles. Sorry, one of the offshoots of the chandelier with the crystals by the handle of the watering can. And Nora will say, "Wow! How did that get up there? So cool!"
So, I could spend a spell slot to get up there. Can you kindly just get it for me?
Yeah, no worry. Nori internally being like, what the fuck is going on? This is not what we had planned. Anyway, I will fly up there, grab the watering can, and then on my way down, I will sing, "Ah," and hand it to Julien, really trying to sink in the performance to, like, just help this, beautiful architecture of the scavenger hunt that we've had.
Yeah, he laughs. Like, he enjoys your presentation. He's like, I don't entirely know what's going on here, but I'm having a good time with it. And y'all are wild. Like, I feel like last time, because Frog was kind of going through some shit, and you all went and talked to, like, Amy, that you all were a little like, oh no. Either that, or, like, the last month has broken you in an irreparable way. I don't know what it is, but y'all are certainly something right now.
Oh, Julien. Just you wait. So now that Julien has this beautiful watering...
threatening.
Now that Julien has this beautiful watering can from a chandelier, tilting it over and shaking it, another scroll will pop out, and it will say, "Where petals bloom and leaves take flight, where day and night both share their light. A place of growth of roots and green. Your final stop is yet unseen."
Okay, so are we now going down to the stables?
Nori will do the same thing with the spiritual guardians, and have it swirl around her and pop off and say, "Yes!" And start walking with Julien down the stairs.
We are not going to the stables. We are going to the garden.
Yeah, the gardens didn't look like a part of the map on the picture I'm looking at, because I have to keep scrolling in and out between them. So yeah, as you say yes, and then you guys are walking down, I think it'd be like, wait, are we going to the stables, or are we going to the gardens? Because I'm happy to go to the stables, because then we can reunite. And if it's the final stop, it kind of feels like we should end it together anyway. But, like...
Nora will hold up her hand, look at her brain, cast sending to Frog, and say, "Do we meet in the stables or the garden? I'm sorry, today's been a day."
Frog, upon hearing this, will just, like, put a palm up against her forehead and be like, "The garden. The garden."
Having heard that from Frog, Nora would be like, "Oh, so sorry. My brain, I tell you, you know what, Julien? You are right. You are right. We need to go to the garden to reunite with your one true love." And as I say love, the silver pine cones will make a heart behind me and then explode with silvery greatness.
Okay. Yeah, he goes, "Sure. Yeah." And we'll lead you down to the flower garden. As Frog, I think you're being led back to the bedroom.
Yes, upon entering the bedroom, as previously described, Frog will just kind of stare at Dion to see if he has any hunch of where he should go.
Well, I kind of feel like I should just lay in bed for a moment. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. Is that frog going to jump on me if I lay in bed?
No, I won't let him do that.
And from the stairway, you just see Cass walking away, and you can hear Archimedes. I'm leaving like you asked me to.
Okay. Cool. I'm gonna lay down now. And then lays in bed and like just does a weird eye contact with you as you're watching him lay on top of his sheets in his bed.
As he lays down, he will have a thud when he puts his head down, and obviously it hurts a little bit, but not too bad. He's just like, what is underneath this pillow? Like,
Yeah, and the other question you'd be asking is, again, what staff did you pay off to hide things in our bed? Like, we have been with you. I guess Cass is flying around, but we've been with you since this morning. How did you get this here? And then we'll reach under the pillow to grab whatever hit his head.
upon putting his hand underneath the pillow, he will feel a cold metal, and pull it out and find a small spade.
Okay. So, putting
the
weapons
spade
under
is
the bed. Very exciting.
Yes.
Really not helping the murder kidnap plot that I'm not convinced you're engaging in.
Yes. The spade is much like the wooden heart that he found earlier. It's engraved and decorated very nicely. And tied to the handle of the spade, you will hear the same clue that Julien just received. Where petals bloom and leaves take flight, where day and night both share their light, a place of growth, of roots and green, your final stop is yet unseen.
Okay. We'll head to the flower garden, then, I'd imagine. Okay. Do I need to keep this hat on?
Yes.
Okay. Then let's get going, I guess. And we'll head down. And I think as we're following Julien and Dion both to the flower garden, then, right?
Yes.
Okay. So then I guess now Dion following Frog and Julien following Nori, or I guess vice versa because they know the path much better. Everyone seems to be on their way to a flower garden.
As they approach to the flower garden, they'll see Cass and Archimedes already there waiting for them. And, a big clearing where there's all these beautiful flowers growing, all different colors, with an empty space in the middle. In that empty space, there will be one scroll for the both of them to find, this one a little bit bigger than the others. When they pick it up, it reads, "The roots are ready, the branches wait. Now together it's time to create. With soil in hand and hearts aligned, plant your love and the tree will climb." Using everything that they've found so far, they are going to be planting a memory tree. Frog will be explaining this. She will then tell them kind of the significance of all of their different things that they've found. So she'll say, "Dion, your first clue led you to a carved wooden heart. This is the seed symbolizing your noble and loving heart. Julien, your first clue was a leather-bound book. This will be enchanted with the stories of your lives and experiences together." You then found several other clues, such as the spade, the watering can, the sugar that will remind you that sweetness and relaxing and enjoying your life is important, as well as the golden music note, bringing the joy into your relationship of music. With all of these things, please plant the wooden heart seed and see what will grow.
So you want us to just put them all in the hole and then cover it and water it, just to be clear?
Yes, use the spade to dig the hole. put the things you found except for put the seed and the sugar in, and then water it. Yes.
Or putting the music note in the hole too.
Yes.
And the book.
Not the book.
Okay.
Cast
I guess
on the back. What about the hat?
No, that's just for fun.
Yeah, Julian looks over. Is like, I wasn't gonna comment, but you look bad. Like that's not a good look on you. Like, and he's like, I'm well aware. I didn't put it on, and I knew it was going to look bad, in general and on me. However, you look simply radiant. I'm glad they got you a nice looking shirt. And then we'll just start digging to move through the conversation about the Archimedes hat. And yeah, they dig a hole together, and then I guess Julian will put the heart in first, and then Dion will put the music note on top, and then they'll both put in a sugar cube and then cover it up and water it.
Mhm.
Okay.
As they water it, a tree starts to sprout. As it grows bigger and bigger. Now, this is not going to be like a giant tree because their lives are still, being formed. But it's going to be like a decent sized tree. And the wood is all carved with like memories and moments from their lives, that, as well as the leaves, and the leaves are made out of like jewels that are vibrant and shiny gemstones. And as you take a look at the tree, you'll see like different moments from their lives, kind of reminiscing, like, I don't know, Disney, don't yell at me, but like Maui's like tattoos, how they form as he makes memories, like that. And you see plenty of empty space for their future to be written on this tree. And then Frog will, as it's growing, say, we thought that this would be a great spot for your officially unofficial wedding.
Yeah, and like there's, as they like back up watching the tree go, like they have their arms around each other's like waist, just holding each other like in a nice way. And I think like just watching it, they take a second to pause as their eyes just kind of cover everything that's on there. And then I think Dion's going to walk up and just hug you, Frog, and be like, yeah, I think this will be a great place for a wedding. Is that also today? Do we need to? Okay.
No.
No,
Okay.
you're good. You guys deserve a day of rest before we get into the real wedding festivities.
Okay, so you have a plan for that then?
Oh, you bet your bottom dollar we do. I do. We do.
Okay.
And with
This
that,
was...
Cass is just gonna walk up really quick, just put his hand on Dion's shoulder and be like, "Do you trust me?"
Probably.
And at this point, like, I'll just use my other hand that's not on his shoulder and take the hat off and just put it gently back down on Archimedes and cast prestidigitation on his head just to clean that area. Be like, I know this isn't ideal, but like, at least have a day to fix the rest of it. But like, this at least gets it started.
Yeah. Thank you for that. Yes. So why did Julien get a nice shirt and I got a pile of dirt assembled by a frog?
Archimedes really wanted to be a part of this process, and we tried. We tried everything we could, but we could not convince him of. We could not convince him otherwise.
Okay. Well then, Archimedes, thank you for the hat. It is a pleasure to meet you from one noble to another. Where, and just, this is like, then we'll turn to all of you and be like, why? Why?
'Cause why not?
He's my friend. He's stuck with me, at least for a little while longer.
Okay, sure. Why not? Then Julian go, I think he's pretty cool. He definitely, like, I think he made your place worse because somehow he left your closet wet and then left a trail of wet to mine. And there was no trail of wet getting into your closet, so I would ask the staff to clean that very quickly. But, I mean, he seems like a fun little dude, right?
Right.
Oh, thank you. I am a fun little.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Well, this was really nice. This is nice. And, like, they both just look at the tree for a while. And I think, like, Julian's, like, touching the leaves to see, like, if they're, like, just faux colored, if they actually are made out of magic gemstones. And, like, seeing that they're just magic gemstones, like, that's... I don't understand how the three of you managed that, but in whatever way you did, congrats. Like, that was cool. Nice job. Should we go take, like, a post-mimosa brunch nap and then figure out what we're going to do in the evening?
Let's do it.
Okay. Cool. We're going to go take a second to, like, not be surrounded by chaos, and then we'll come back. And we'll see you tonight.
Okay, bye!
Yeah. Cool. I think, honestly, that's probably a good spot to wrap up for today.
Yeah.
So we'll wrap up there. Yeah, thank you, as always, players. Well, I guess thank you, GMs, for GMing this time. Thank you, me, for existing. Thank you, audience, for listening. If any of you want to get in contact with us, we can be found as Help Action Needed all across the internet. And if you want to write in, you can do so through Gmail at helpactionneeded@gmail.com. Yeah, we exist. We're around. We're having fun. Thank you, players, for playing. Thank you, audience, for listening. And as always, goodbye.
Yay. Chaos.
Hello, everyone. Post-production editing Sean here. Thank you for making it to the end of the episode. I just have one additional thing I want to shout out. On March 3rd, March 2nd, a little under a month from now, a very cool witches-inspired project will be going live on Help Action Needed on our Twitch. So if you want to see the story of 4 friends, not our main cast, but 4 other friends who are on a quest for power and self-discovery being slowly broken down by the world around them, we would love for you to check it out. It's an amazing show. And I just wanted to promo that so that if you enjoyed the show, you can go find another time of characters exploring the world around them and maybe getting a little sad. Thank you so much. And as always, goodbye.